Welcome to a new update in which we are going to cover all the important topics of today, which includes CPI, which was the key trigger of today. And we also know that the markets are going up instead of down, including Bitcoin, which is recovering the entire loss of the day. So we're jumping into that as we have seen CPI kicking in. But before we can continue, make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel if you missed the live stream. Tomorrow I'll be updating once again on the markets, everything that you need to know daily on this YouTube channel, including trade setups, which we will be covering quite soon. And about trade setups, we've got 1 week for free on our premium membership, which includes all the trades that you can take, my personal portfolio and more. Check it out in the description beneath. Now, when we're looking at the key topic of today, it is definitely CPI. Also, keep an eye on jobless claims. Jobless claims have been going up by a bit. They are rallying like a little bit, so we have to keep an eye on that for the coming weeks, as in the coming weeks most likely more information on that's going to come out, and if jobless claims are going to run more, it's giving a key trigger. But now CPI came in hotter than expected, so core CPI came in at 0.6%, while 0.5 was expected. Core CPI year on year was the highest in a long time and highest of the year, as it came in at 6.6, while 6.5 was expected from the forecasters, and the forecasters are always wrong, it seems to be. Last month we hit 6.3, so today we've hit 6.6, and then we also had CPI, the regular one, coming in at 8.2, which is a decrease from past months, as we had 8.3 previously, and now we've got 8.2 kicking in. Which gives a result that inflation is coming down, and this is the lowest number since February 2022. However, it's better than expected, so we see that the markets are actually have been getting a sell-off due to the impact of that event. However, CPI month-to-month higher than expected, but then we've got something else, which was Biden speaking, which was claiming that the inflation has averaged 2% in the past 3 months annualized, and that shows that the Fed has been having its impact. And therefore we also saw earlier that the impact of the event has been getting a significant change to the rate hike in November, as the rate hike has been accelerating all the way towards 100 bips. And right now we are actually projecting a 17% chance of a 100 bips rate hike in November, which was way higher than what we were expecting earlier, as a few days ago the chances of having 75 bips was approximately 60%, and now that's getting close to 100%. But we're getting a shift in the market price action, as we can see with Bitcoin actually just running instead of correcting even more. So we see the initial price action on the event over here, in which we were falling prior to CPI already, and then CPI kicked in, taking out the highs, started falling even more, and now we're getting back towards equilibrium, and the daily is not looking too bad, as we have been taking all the lows that we also had previously. So if we start zooming out a bit more, we can see that we have been taking out all the lows here, which now is giving liquidity for the reversal move. So this is a strong move. It's the first signal that we can get some momentum from the markets, and not only from Bitcoin, we are actually getting this momentum, but we can also see that the dollar finally starts to correct. So all the currencies are getting its momentum. The dollar is getting a sell-off here, and also the yields are getting a sell-off, as they have been taking the high, and now as they start to drop. So are we getting on the edge of a turnaround? That is the question of today. If we are looking at the markets for tomorrow, there's another big day jumping in, as retail sales are coming in. Probably not going to be as hot as today. Probably going to have a swift impact on the market, showing that a recession is confirmed, which gives a song of, hey, is the Fed going to continue being hawkish despite the fact that the economy is crashing? Or are we going to have a reversal on the policy? Those will start singing even more, and the investors start to bet less on it if retail comes in bad. If import price index and export price index comes in bad as well, Last month we have been seeing a swift drop. It implies that CPI is going to drop even more in the coming months. And when we discuss CPI, Pentoshi has been making a tremendous thread about it, in which he has been saying that the baseline is 0.2 at this point. And we are probably going to see massive months start rolling off the back end. They're expecting to start dropping quite fast with CPI, despite that we can still see 0.2, 0.3 in all those numbers. So we can start seeing a cliff off the CPI at this point, which means that inflation is getting into it. Also, we have been seeing that World Food Index has been declining quite fastly. I've been covering that on this YouTube channel, and we see that shipping costs have been dropping, but ultimately lumber has been dropping a lot as well. So it seems very likely that we can still see CPI coming in at tremendous numbers, but overall we can start seeing CPI coming down from here as we are getting towards peak inflation. Yields have been dropping, as we can see here. Going back to the dollar showing even more weakness at this point, through which we can see that the Dow Jones reversed a loss of 2% and is up 1.6% at this point. So it's showing strength, and we're bouncing swiftly from the bottom at this point, resulting into Bitcoin also showing strength as it's regaining all the losses that we've had. So we can once again see that the first move is a fake out, and we are most likely going to gain continuation at this point, as we are at range low. We've got some lower time frame charts coming in here, so let's look at that. We can see that we've recovered all the moves here, and you should be triggered in your long. If you want to look for more longs, it's most likely 18.6, despite I don't believe that we're actually going to get that, but it would be wise if we're getting it to jump into it, as I think that we're going to get projections all the way towards 21k. So CPI came in hotter than expected. Higher numbers, despite that CPI is dropping down at this point. It looks a little like the inflation is peaking. Core CPI has hit a new high. Due to that, we've seen the markets dropping quite fast on Bitcoin. We've seen a very tremendous move downwards, hitting range low, taking liquidity, and now a very, very big move to the upside for Bitcoin, as we are back at 19k. As the US indices are also showing green numbers, reversing the entire drop. Also the yields are dropping even more, as we have been seeing in the charts. 30 years are down on the day. Also the UK has been dropping on the day. It's down 5% on the day already, which is implying that we are getting into territory of a reversal. So these are good signs. Watch tomorrow. Subscribe to this YouTube channel, and I'll update you tomorrow again. Hit that long. We're going to get some relief. It's going to be a good Q4 for the markets. Subscribe, hit that like button, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Ciao.